Alright, I promised a couple of ETF I would record or take some images of the new system build, etc. when I got done. So everything's done and set up, so keeping my promise. Hopefully you can hear this okay and the zoom works okay. It's kind of dark. And I don't remember how to turn on the light. Yeah, well, we'll make do. Basically I got my own little man cave here. On this end is my gun working stuff and some other gear, etc., etc. A couple of you appreciate those, of course. And underneath, at my knees, is my equalizer. So people want to come here without invitation. They probably might want to think twice about it. Back over here I've got a computer desk where my Amiga stuff sits, things like that, radios and communication. You also see the new 7.1 surround, this Onkyo system that it just got. I haven't hooked it up, haven't set it up yet. That's going on the new system. Right now I'm just using 7.1 surround speakers on the new Strix card, which I'll show you in a second. Let me get down below here. This is the old system here. And it is based on the i7 3770S that blew up 2 weeks ago. I've got all the parts. It's running again thanks to another ETF member. I've now got a GTX 2070 in there with a new i7. The motherboard was fine, so I just got a new chip and even bought a backup one of the i7 3770. Anyway, you get the idea. So the old system's back up. All the hard drive bays are full. It's got 8 hard drives in it, plus a couple SSDs. It's both, I don't know if you can see in there. I don't know if I can see it. Well, I guess I'll see when I watch the video. It's liquid-cooled CPU and GPU and motherboard. So CPU and motherboard cooling loop is all one and the same. I monitor my hardware both via software means through the board and hardware. On the front here is the two of the hardware monitoring. I'm running at 80.8 or 81 degrees Fahrenheit and 80 degrees Fahrenheit for CPU and GPU. And then I also have in-loop liquid monitoring, which is this puppy here. And I'm at 86 degrees Fahrenheit. That's for the GPU liquid right now. So it's doing its job. It's doing what it's supposed to be. And the fact that the liquid is actually higher temp than the actual unit is a good sign. That's what you want. Because it means the unit is sending the liquid to the radiator, and the radiator is pulling out the heat. Over here is the new system. And this is based on the i9 9900K. I went all out, obviously. This one, let me turn it to white total. And pull. Yeah, it's got this fancy color LED system. It's i9 9900K I went with, liquid cooled again for the CPU, 32 gig of memory I went with. It does have the memory, what's it called, XMA boost. So I can take the memory all the way up to 3200 megahertz. I've got a 240 gig boot drive, SSD, 500 gigabyte secondary drive that's a crucial 500 gigabyte. On the back side of the plate, you can't see, there's also a 2 terabyte SSD and a 1 terabyte SSD back there. And then my archiver backup drive is a 3 terabyte green mechanical. Also in this system is, let's see, it's got 2 M2 ports. One's not filled there. The other one there is filled. Hopefully you can see this stuff. Down here I have the Strix RAID DLX 7.1 surround, which is one hell of a nice card. Man, I was shocked at how nice this thing sounds. GTX or RTX 2070. I couldn't justify another $1,000 just to go to the 2080. That just blew my mind. And then down here I've got another M2 card, and on it is a Samsung 970 EVO 970 500 gigabyte SSD as well. And I've got the cache is there, and I'll probably leave that one not filled, at least for now. And there's a second port on the card there. I'll probably leave that not filled for now. I also ordered, and I'm going to be upgraded. This is an ASRock motherboard, and it's full, other than the M2 slots. So I'm upgrading to a different ASRock, the top of the line, Gaming 9 it's called, which will give me more expansion, because I want expansion. I like expansion, and I'm going to need expansion. A couple USB ports on top, a speaker, mic, all that kind of crap. DVD port extender for 3.0. This also has the new 3.0 ports. It's got 2 of them. I guess one, they're faster, but I don't know all the details of the new standard, the new USB standard. So, well, all I know is it's got them. I'll have to read up on it and figure out what they're for, or if they're even supported at this point by peripherals. Let's see. Up here, we've got, like I said, I monitor everything. So I monitor my voltages because, as some of you know, we're self-sufficient out here. Wind, solar power, geothermal, that kind of thing. And so I closely monitor my voltages. And I've got the monster power systems here, as you can see. And my voltages are holding pretty steady. I wonder why that one's fluctuating by a volt and this one's not. Might need a little tweak or something, I guess. It's no big deal. It can fluctuate by a bunch of volts, so I'm not worried about it. But, you know, I like it to be steady. It could also be based on the draw. Well, no, that would be this system. And this system's not doing anything except running Spectrum. I'll look it up later. Anyway, I run everything 4K, and we do have an ETF that likes to talk about how 4K sucks, or it's too expensive. Well, I'm sorry, but I'm in AutoSAR right now. It's about 50 frames per second, and this is snappy. There is no, sorry, but that's 4K, 3840 by 2160. And I'll prove it. Let me bring this up quick. No, not that one. This one. There we go. Resolution 3840 by 2160 native. So I hate having to prove everything when we get these arguments on ETF, but tell you what, I'll take 60 frames per second at 3840 by 2160 any day of the week over your 1920 by 1080 at 144 or whatever. So that's me. Anyway, like I said, I'm running in 7.1 surround. I can tap to go between my headset and the speakers. I also utilize tablet in-game. Once the API is up, I'll be able to run live stuff here. Mentioning the tablet, something I want to show you guys. I just found out about this. I didn't know about that. It's an Android written by SIG, probably Turbulent, authentication, 2FA authentication app for Star Citizen. I didn't even know it existed. I was using email for my authentication. And the other day I just came across it, and I'm like, I figured some, backer wrote it or something. But apparently not. It's an official SIG application for 2FA. So if you didn't know about it, they've got one. It's simple to use, obviously. You scan a QR code for your account, or manually add it if you want, and away you go. And then I also use a Stream Deck, which I'm starting to love this thing. I can set up, somebody else did the icons, and they did a pretty good job with them. I like them. Thank God they did, because I'm not an artist. But you can set up anything. So like if you're in the game, if I want to look at the Mobi, I hit the Mobi button, and up it pops. Or if I want to go to the map. if I want to quantum travel, or I want to do emotes, or power, or self-destruct, or eject, or whatever. I can set it up for anything. I'm still working on my setups and stuff. And then I've got, let's see here. Right now I'm set up for Star Citizen, X4, Eve, Elite, Stellaris, and Soda. I don't know why I put games in I don't even play anymore, but I did. And of course, since I Twitch, stream everything. I'm not a Twitch streamer like other people. I just stream it. I don't talk, I don't do nothing, I just stream the game, and if people want to watch, they can watch. So that's why there's only a few buttons. I look to see if there's any viewers. If I got to say be right back, I hit the button and it puts it right up there. Be right back. I don't even have to say anything. So, let's see, what else? How in the hell did I end up with a crime rate? Crime stat? Well, shit. Anyway, okay. Chair and setup. Oh, I use the X56 HOTAS, Voice Attack, and Toby. And others have seen us talking about Toby. That's it. This little strip right here. Just mounts with a little magnet. That's the whole Toby system. That's it. The whole thing. And when you want to use it, all you have to do is sit down in front of your computer and start playing your game. There's no headset. There's no hardware to hook up other than when you first buy the thing, obviously. You just sit down and use it. It works. If the game's supporting it, the game will automatically use it, unless you've turned it off. Hopefully SIG. Right now we're using the TrackIR code that Star Citizen has, but it's limited because it's only a TrackIR. And the nice thing about Toby, you don't have to constantly zero it. You don't have to keep calibrating it. Nothing. Once you've set it up, it's done. You don't have to keep doing anything. And the nice thing is, if SIG gets the code in for it, we'll be able to use eye tracking, head tracking, both tracking. They'll also be able to turn this on for VoIP. And it's actually 100 times or more accurate than any camera is. So we could use it for VoIP if SIG will integrate this, just like they did with TrackIR. TrackIR does head tracking, and we all know the hassle with it. You know, you got to wear something on your head, you got to constantly calibrate it, and blah, 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 blah. So hopefully, keep your fingers crossed, SIG will get that implemented. And if SIG, if you're watching this, come on. That thing is kickbutt. And I know Toby was talking to you about it because you guys had me send in you the video of me doing Star Citizen hands-free. I used Toby and Voice Attack and recorded a video, complete hands-free gameplay. Everything from leaving here, spawning, to taking off on a ship. I went through combat, shooting weapons, tracking targets, coming back and landing, and exiting the game. You can't do that with TrackIR, even with Voice Attack. And then I use the X56. I don't use the rudder pedals. It just got to be too much of a pain in the ass trying to push against them and sliding back in my chair and whatever else. So I set it up like this. So now, with this chair I have, in camo of course, I can put my legs basically up on the cushion, and it's also a vibrating cushion, so I can, you know, relax. Or I can just stretch my legs out and underneath here, and basically I'm set up, you know, I don't have to stretch anywhere, I don't have to mess around, I'm all perfect position for, man, this camera is zoomed in or something. Yeah, I guess it is zoomed out. And I can lay my chair back farther or bring it forward or whatever I want, but it's nice and comfortable layout and setup. And that's, you know, the basics behind what I have and what I did and how I play the game. Other than that, I think I mentioned I use G19s, and I monitor my hardware on the little screen here. I think I mentioned it, now I don't remember. If I didn't, well, what the hell. If I did, you can cut the video now. If I didn't, just quick, I'll say I can monitor everything, from CPU and GPU temps to water or liquid temps to motherboard, casing, fan speeds, FPS, all my hard drives, all my SSD, everything is on that little screen. I can just look down for either machine and at a glance see what my temps are, what my CPU utilizations are, my GPU utilization, all that stuff. So I really like, I really like these keyboards. I guess that's it. I got to get my 7.1 surround new system hooked up and I'll be all set. Other than that, hopefully the video comes out. I guess I'll find out when I watch it. If you got any questions, let me know. And that's it. Later, guys.